Welcome to the next installment of my video lecture series for microeconomic principles. And in this particular video lecture, I'm going to be taking a look at some of the potential test questions coming up on test number 3. Here is one table. You're going to be asked to complete the following table. So it says here, complete the following table, assuming that the price of the item produced is equal to $20. The first thing you have to do is calculate marginal product of labor. So here we have a column with the labor units, and here we have the total product. So the marginal product is just going to be how much total product increases every time we use an additional labor unit. So if you take a look, you can see here, obviously, if we have no labor units, we're producing no output. And then when we move to 1 unit of output, we use 1 unit of labor, our total product increases to 24. So by hiring 1 worker, by going from 0 workers to 1 worker, our total product increases by 24. It goes from 0 to 24. So the marginal product of labor when we have 1 unit of labor is equal to 24. And you continue doing that for each unit, 1 unit increase of labor. So here you can see that we have 1 unit of labor is producing 24 units of output. Then we go to 2 units of labor and output goes to 44. So the labor increases from 24 to 44. So that change is equal to 20. I guess I should put that in the right cell. And since every single labor unit change is equal to 1, all we really need to look at is incrementally how much total product increases by going from row to row. So we go from 44 to 60. The difference between that is equal to 16. We go from 60 to 70. That change is equal to 10. We go from 70 to 76. So that increase is 6, and then from 76 to 78, that is equal to 2. So make sure you remember that the marginal product of labor is just the increase in total product for every 1 unit increase in labor. So that's how we get this column right here. For the marginal revenue product of labor, you just take the marginal product of labor and multiply it by the price. So we have 20 times 24, which I'm going to do in my head is equal to 480. Let me pull out my calculator just to check. Come on, calculator, work for me, please. So we have 24 multiplied by 20, and that is equal to 480. We have 20 multiplied by 20, which is equal to 400. We have 16 multiplied by 20, that's equal to 320. We have 10 times 20, which is equal to 200. 6 times 20 is equal to 120, and 2 times 20 is equal to 40. So make sure you remember that the marginal revenue product of labor is just this marginal product of labor multiplied by the price. And let me go and do the next one while I'm at it. I'm going to start a page break here. So we just have this. So this video will include the potential questions 1 and 2. Assume that the interest rate is 3% from the below investment table, schedule table. Determine in which project should be invested and calculate the total dollar amount of investment. Explain your answer in detail. Excuse me. So the interest rate is important here because we compare that interest rate of 3% to the estimated rate of return. The estimated rate of return is greater than 5%, greater than 3%. We will engage in that investment. So for example, here you can see that the factory in Camden has an estimated rate of return of 5%. That is greater than 3%, therefore we will engage in that investment. So this will be invested in. We will build a factory in Camden. We can build a factory in Philadelphia. It is estimated that that will have a 9% rate of return on our investment, which is greater than 9%, so we will invest in that investment also. And actually, don't want to do that. Let me actually do something here and just highlight these. So I'll go to the cell. Yeah, it has multiple fill types. Let me change that to a color fill. Yeah. So if it's in blue, we are going to invest in it. That means that the estimated rate of return here is greater than the interest rate of 3%. Take a look at the new truck fleet here. The new truck fleet has an estimated rate of return of 6%, which is greater than 3%. So we will invest in that. I will highlight that in the same color. We could build an outlet store, and the estimated rate of return on building the outlet store is 8%, which is greater than the 3% we will pay in interest. So we will also invest in that outlet store. Our computer network has an estimated rate of return of 11%. Since the estimated rate of return is greater than the 3% interest rate we're going to pay, we will also invest in that particular investment, or we will build that or invest in the new computer network. And finally, we have a new cafeteria for our workers. The estimated return is 2%, which is less than 3%. So we will not engage in building the worker cafeteria because it's going to cost us more to borrow the money than the estimated rate of return of building that new cafeteria for our workers. So we will not engage in building the new worker cafeteria. So the total investment would just be adding up the total investment for the factory in Camden, the factory in Philadelphia, the new fleet of trucks, the outlet store, and the new computer network. So we would just add all of these together here. So we would add 1.7 million plus 1.5 million plus 1 million plus 350,000 plus 200,000, and that would give us our total level of investment. So make sure you remember that what investment actually gets engaged or actually attempted is the ones where the estimated rate of return is greater than the interest rate. So you're going to be borrowing at 3%. You want to engage in investments that give you a rate of return that are greater than that 3%. And you can see that these items that are highlighted in blue, these all have a higher rate of return than the interest rate. So these will be invested in. Your total investment is just adding up the total investment costs of each of the projects that you're going to engage. So we would add up the factory in Camden, the cost of the factory in Camden, the factory in Philadelphia, the new fleet of trucks, the outlet store, and the new computer network. Add those numbers together, and that will give us how much this company actually invests.